So if we had a a weak chief executive, if Sam Azad didn't have all the power, he's got, entire what? How many employees are there? What, 2,000? So Sam Azad has an army of 2,000 people, $81 million. Sam Azad can handle and destroy any single fucking problem you hand him. Every single one of them. So yes, it is probably best to get on his good side, but that's another thing. You're going to have all these kiss asses. Who's going to tell Sam Azad that he's doing wrong? And maybe that's the thing. City Council has been too scared to tell Sam Azad what to do, and they've been too nervous to fire him. They're not even. I haven't even heard any discussions about it, because it doesn't. If we had a weak chief executive, it would make sense for us to call for a strong chief executive. So why do we need a strong fascist? Why do we need a Führer? Why do we need a we need a dictator? And you can have a benevolent dictator. There are good uses of power, building schools, building hospitals. These are good uses of power. So you can have a benevolent dictator. But if the argument is we need a strong executive, we need a strong chief executive because the current strong chief executive isn't good enough, that makes no fucking sense. What needs to happen is you all need to understand the fucking city charter, how it works, and then enforce the mechanisms that are already in place. So if, let's just say with the police chief, I think that's a good example because it's a major issue that's happening right now. So the police chief is stepping down, and so that means Sam Azad is going to choose the chief of police. Well, he should choose the chief of police that all 7 of those city council people agree on. The 7 city council people actually should get together and, sort of just come down to maybe like 3 top candidates and then put the short list in front of Sam Azad. If they did that, then Sam Azad has to pick between a list that they chose. So city council has power to pick, the 3 main nominees, but Sam Azad was the chief decider, right? Which one do I think is best? And so it doesn't make any sense. Because he's got, he's got to report all the violations of the corporations or the public utility franchises that the city contracts with. So he holds the corporations, he's got their pecker in his pocket. He has them by the fucking nuts. He's got the public utility franchises by the nuts. He's got the entire city government, right? The Department of Health and Fire and Police and Public Works, Civil Service, Parks and Recreation, Deputy City Manager, Internal Services, Housing and Citizen Services, Information Technology, Pueblo Transit, Purchasing. Sam Azad controls all the people, everybody there, their jobs, their job titles, whether they get hired, fired, suspended, how much they get paid. $81 million. So we have a strong chief executive. Sam Azad gets to do as the fuck as he wants to do. He has all that soft power. All that money, all the budget, all the employee, all the jobs, so much patronage. Right? His whole family and all his friends would get super fucking rich. The city manager is the fucking king. And we hope that they're a benevolent king who wants to. So it just doesn't make any sense to me if we already have a strong. Let's see, what else is there? He also has to prepare an annual budget. He also has to do a yearly finance report, a state of Pueblo report. And then the budget, and then all the jobs, report the violations. So he's got the corporations, public utility franchises, all those departments I just listed, all those employees. He's got their fucking nuts in the palm of his hands. And I don't even know how to say his last name. Is it Azad? I don't know. But the very last thing is just sort of the mechanisms of his requirements. He has to be at the city council meeting. So I wouldn't give a shit about his advice. He would need to hear my advice. Hey, Sam, I got some advice for you. So as a city council person, I want to expand my power because I want, since basically the main power for city council is choosing the king and then firing the king. I want to know who the fuck this person is, right? I want to know what the hell they're about, where they're headed, where they're going, if they listen to me, if they respond to me, if they give me most of what I want. I want, as a city council person, to have more power, right? That's the whole point of the 3 branches of government, is that they would jealously guard their authority. So I want a stronger executive and I want a stronger city council people. So I don't know why they want a weak city council. I don't know why they're calling for a strong mayor and a weak city council when we already have a strong person, you know, at the helm. So that's my main gist, I guess, with that. So council manager, I want just look at the organization of the words, the nuance, right? Mayor tells council what to do. It's a mayor-council position. Council manager, the council hires the manager and fires the manager, but the manager hires and fires everybody else. And he's the chief executive, so he can arrest everybody on council. He can arrest all the judges. He can arrest all the cops. He can basically, Sam Azad can kick everybody's ass in Pueblo. He can not just assault them, but he can arrest them and, you know, sit people in jail. He is the top dog, the main fascist. Now, I'm not for sure if he knows that or not. So if he doesn't know that, you know, if city council doesn't understand the power that he's got or how to flex their muscle to get him to do what they want him to do, there's no reason to throw the entire fucking government out. If all they need to do was fire the guy or just tell him, have they even told Sam what they wanted? Rodriguez, he was sitting there saying he saw some meeting with Atencio and somebody else, and they were sitting there saying, we got all these good ideas, but then they're like, oh, Sam will never go for it. And so, you know, Rodriguez, all you need to do is go to Sam and ask him if he wants to do it, right? You don't just let it die because you have to approach the man. And if he likes it, it'll get done. Everything Sam approves of gets done, okay? So the whole thing feels illogical to me, as well as being completely illegal. Completely illegal. Completely. Well, I had a list of my demands for a charter. You want to have a charter convention? Okay. Because if there was a charter convention, I got some ideas. I got a framework of ideas I would like to get into the city charter. The city charter is revolutionary and progressive, but I want it to be more revolutionary and more progressive, and I don't know if any of the people that's going to be rewriting the city charter or, you know, making it up as they go along. So we're going to have basically a rogue fucking government. Oh my God. A rogue government that just, you know, is mobile, and they might just not even have city council meetings, just be at their home fucking passing policies and shit. But if they wanted to be honest and actually, you know, change the charter the way that they're supposed to and do it the proper way, well, I want a strong Bill of Rights. I want to make sure the Bill of Rights are protected. I want to make sure that the three branches of government is intact. I want to protect the checks and balances. I think checks and balances is a good idea. I'm against tyranny. It's a good thing to split power up. Yeah, it makes it complicated. Yeah, you have to, you know, be more of a fighter. But the tyrant can't just do as he pleases, because the tyrant can fuck up. And so how do you stop a tyrant who's fucking up? You have to recall them, you got to kick them out, but if they have all the power and there's no way to kick them out, well, you just, what? Close your eyes and hope that the nightmare eventually ends. So I wouldn't even, three branches is what I would go in there with, but I wonder if, like, maybe an election branch or a media branch or a citizens complaint branch, a citizens branch that's above the police. So that way the police is being run by civilians. They're sort of a rogue militia group right now. They're their own branch. And I think the tail wags the dog a lot of the time, so the judges and the cops become buddy-buddy, even though the cops are underneath the executive branch, not the judicial branch. The judges can't tell the cops what to do. That's not how our system works. Maybe the bailiffs, but not cops in general. They decide, right? They make the decisions, and then the cops can enforce those decisions. But anyways, gerrymandering, there's a lot of democratic things. I want to have more democracy, so drawing different regions to make sure one person can get more votes. So fuck gerrymandering, fuck money in politics. I even would want the government to finance and minister the elections. They would make sure that there's equal airtime, equal amount of space and information, that, you know, everybody basically has a shot. Here's who they are, here's their biography, here's their platform, here's what they want to do, here's why they think they can get this done. And So I think that would be, and it would also be cheaper, get money out of politics. Yeah, the government might spend like what? Out of the $81 million, a couple $1,000, but the couple $1,000 makes it a nice, cleaner, honest, more fair election. You actually have a robust conversation instead of just, pumping a shit ton of fucking money into it and bombarding people with TV ads and mailers and, this and that. So get money out of politics. Citizens Complaint Authority, it instituted, even if it's not its own branch, I think it's a good idea anyways. That's the whole idea of the rule of law, is that our military answers to civilian control. Our military is subordinate, obedient to Washington, D.C., or the governor, or Sam Azad. So, I also would want a framework for consolidated government. I think it's a good idea. It just doesn't, Denver's been consolidated since 1902, 115 years ago. So consolidation, it just, we're a city and we're a county. And there's city versus county, I don't like that tension. If we were all together, then it would be the same police, the same jail, the same. For some reason, Sam Azad can't put shoplifters in the jail here. We got to send the shoplifters to another county. Which makes no fucking sense, Sam. You're the fucking man. You have all those employees, all those cops. Don't we have a jail here? Are we paying money for the jail and not getting anything out of it? And what about just someone's house? I mean, just lock them up in your backyard, Sam. Lock up the shoplifters in your backyard for a night, make them stay overnight in your backyard, and then let them free. Cook them some eggs or something, and then just say, hey, I don't want to keep doing this. This is weird for me too. So a framework for consolidated government. There's so many redundant services. There's 2 sets of police, 2 sets of this, 2 sets of that, and then there seems to be a coordination failure between the two. The city got 85% of the marijuana money, which give me the indication, I thought, oh, they have all the power. But then the commissioners, there's only 3 people on the, board of commission, the board of commissioners for the county. So the county actually has a lot less, restrictions. Those 3 people are very fucking powerful. I don't know how big their tax base are, where they're getting their tax monies from. But, we have 2 executive, 2 legislators, 2 of everything. Why have 2 everything? If we get it all together and, why not be one big happy family? Come on, Pueblo County. You don't want to be my family? Pueblo County. I heard a lot of people was talking about the chief of police. Somebody was like, okay, we'll pick a chief of police, but they got to live in the city. Yes, they have to live in the city. They have to. If you don't live in the city, we want some fucking... The county people look down. A lot of county people look down on city people. Those damn heathens, them damn savages. So, they'd be in favor of just exterminating. Finding a guy that just exterminate everybody here. Yeah, get rid of all them damn city slicking crime. And the thing with cities is just that there's a shit ton of people. So anytime you get a shit ton of people, you're going to have some weird shit. To me, it's been pretty peaceful, and shit happens. One of the biggest things that was catching headlines was there was a guy that was going around spray painting M.O.B. M.O.B. So it's really a public service announcement, right? He's like, hey, everybody, money over bitches. That's what M.O.B. I think stands for. So he was just tagging. He was spray painting, this and that, M.O.B. And that was getting headlines. And then when he got caught, that got a headline. That was a big deal. Well, Louisville, meanwhile, as you know, shot 30 fucking people by now. So, I don't know. I'm not trying to... If you're a victim of violent crime, it's bullshit. So, what's my point? My point is having redundant services is expensive and it doesn't make sense. Why pay... If we need 50 police to, govern the entire fucking city, county, then why would we get 50 police here and 50 police there? We're spending twice the amount when, you really don't need to say much more than that, do you? To reduce redundancies. To save money, reduce the redundancies, to make government more efficient, so you can have better services and the government is more responsive to your needs. That's what needs to happen. And then protect Colorado's institutions of initiative, referendum, and recall, which I think would be protected regardless since it's part of Colorado's Constitution. But those are just, coming from Kentucky, I am very thankful for the plush democracy that our forefathers has created here in this state, in this city. This city, 1954, wow, that's when Pueblo got together. They had enough smart, independent thinkers who, were governing and working together and writing these bills and resolutions and shit that said, let's write up an entire city charter for, all the people. And why? To get us home rule status. To get us home rule status, to make us our own independent, autonomous city. So we could be like a nation city, like Athens, Greece. We're our own city-state, Pueblo. In 1954, the people of Pueblo and the people who made that charter gave the city of Pueblo a gift. They gave it a gift. That's why it's progressive and revolutionary. Because it says that Pueblo has its own autonomy. Pueblo can do its own fucking thing. We don't really need to listen to Denver or Washington, D.C. Pueblo, we are our own people, our own government. We take care of our own shit right here. And since we have two governments, I don't want a county person coming in here to the city. No, you have to live in the city to understand the city, to not have a discrimination against the city, to know what the fuck it's like to live in the city. If you're living out in the countryside and it's nice and peaceful all the goddamn time, well, hell, that's the dream now, isn't it? Do you have, maybe an acre for every single one of us? Maybe we all can have the nice, plush, rich, uppity existence that you have. You have it good. And since you have it so good, yeah, when you just pile everybody on top of one another, one of us is going to fucking hit another one, right? Or rob another one or do some bad shit. But overall, it's pretty peaceful here. So if you think that of Pueblo, fuck you. You're a bunch of judgmental, dumb. You guys are more fucking hillbilly and redneck than every person in Kentucky. Burn. Got you. So, that's the framework of ideas that I would carry with me into a charter convention. So, let me just, sort of overview what I've been saying here. Section 1-2 of Pueblo's Revolutionary and Progressive 1954 City Charter states that you must have a city convention, a charter convention, and the majority of the qualified electors of that city convention needs to vote in favor of your strong mayor form of government if that's the kind of government that you want. It's illegal to do the amendment thing. You must have a city convention, a city charter convention. You must have a city charter convention. It's the only way you can get a strong mayor if you want a strong mayor. So it's illegal. They might go through with their illegal thing. My biggest fear with this is that they're not going to make the current city charter progressive and more revolutionary. They're not going to change it at all. What they're going to do is just confuse the shit out of everybody, change a couple lines here and there, so really fuck the city charter up, just basically make a Frankenstein out of it, revise, black out some of this and do some of that. But if you're going to delete the very top of it, you're probably going to delete the whole thing. So it's going to be up to these people that led the fight. Gardesser, he's Nick, he's going to have a ton of power, right? He's a lawyer, he'll be paid for the rest of his life because you're going to need to talk to him to understand who the fuck has any power whatsoever. Who the hell has any power? Well, we got to ask Nick. Oh, so Nick has the power. Remember how popular the writers of the American Constitution became. It's a very wealthy endeavor, right? You get paid pretty well if you write the entire rules to the game. And it could be revolutionary, rewriting the entire rules. But that's not what we're doing. What we're going to do is we're going to change the foundation. We're going to diametrically contradict the ruling governing document with this amendment. And then we're going to have just, the 7 city council people And then whoever Nick and his friends are, and the city council people that's in front of them, their advisors, the owners, the wealthy, the corporate, the rich, the bankers, the deep state, the people that have jobs, the people in city government, they're going to be pushing, oh my God, right? They're going to have their wants and their needs and their dislikes. And yeah, like, fuck the goat heads. Fuck these fucking goat heads, man. Is Sam Azad strong enough to get rid of these fucking goat heads? You got Public Works, right? Or maybe that is that Parks and Recreation. It doesn't matter. It's bad for the entire city. The entire city has got to get rid of these fucking goat heads. They're poisonous, they're thorns, and then every single vine can produce 5,000 thorns, and they can stay in the ground for 20 years. So even if we were to eradicate them all, but one person left one vine out, in 20 years, we might get hit with another infestation. That's how, just fuck these goat heads. The Tribulus terrestris. These puncture vines, these devil's eyelashes. Fuck you, Tribulus terrestris. We need to deracinate them, pull them up by the roots. We need to exterminate and eradicate, burn them. We need to get rid of every single goat head in the city of Pueblo. Get rid of them all. We need a final solution. I was thinking maybe dodo bird, is that okay? Like, we're going to make them go the way of the dodo bird. So, wipe them out as an entire species? Yes, that's exactly what I mean. If you want to save them, then have a fucking, a nursery in wherever, Timbuktu. But they serve no benefit to the public, to individuals. No, they're fucking pointless. They're a weed. Every bit of them is a weed. They're crap. They're garbage. They're thorns. They're hurting paws. Them dogs and cats and the kids get in their feet, and then they come in everywhere, all over the place, and you have nightmares. You see just goat heads slowly coming towards. So, I am not against change. I very much want to be in favor. I want to, I told you all the things I want to change. Ranked choice voting, strong Bill of Rights, protect the three branches, protect checks and balances. No, I don't want a fucking tyrant doing anything and everything. Yes, we can have a strong executive, a strong chief executive with strong legislative checks. That would be nice. That's perfect, actually. That's exactly what I want. Strong city council, strong executive. So when the executive says, I want to do this, and the city council says, we're okay with that, that makes me feel okay. But if the mayor, the chief executive says, I want to do this, and then the city council people are basically just supposed to be a bunch of kiss-ass, follow-along, sycophants. So the mayor's like, I want to do this. And they're like, oh yeah, good idea. Me too, I do too. And the people that don't, they're kind of like, they might just lie, right? Or just sulk, abstain. So, one way we got to check, the other way we don't. One way we can fire the fucking chief executive like that, right? You could fire them with the city manager, 30 days. All you need is a simple majority vote. You need to get 4 city council people to vote to fire Sam Azad. Sam Azad is gone in 30 days. 4 people vote for it. They write out the resolution. They give the reasons for it. 30 days, he's gone. So 30 days is a perfect amount of time for a transition. Fire him. Take a week, or maybe you should actually, before you fire him, right, take a month to look at applicants. Maybe make it 60 days or something. 30 days, look at new applicants, new hires. And then just that last 30 days, have a transition from Sam Azad to the brand new city manager. I'd fire a city manager every fucking year. Every month, maybe, hell. I think it'd be a good idea, new blood, new ideas. And that's so much power. There's so much power that's, vested in one person. So I think just, switching off or whatever, and then you might say, well, hell, Sam Azad did great the first year, then we got this other person and another person, then go back to maybe, on the 4th year or some shit. But to have them, to carry over different administrations, it's remarkable that Sam Azad has kept his job for as long as he has. and that it's remarkable still that nobody's, if people are so frustrated. It seems like people are pretty frustrated. I don't know. I mean, it's a mixed bag, right? If you're a victim of crime, then you're probably really pissed off. If you're poor, if you're struggling, but if you're doing, all honky-dory, then you might be like, I like everything. The city government's doing a good job. And sometimes it can be ironic like that, right? People don't go to city government because they think they're weak and effective, or they're doing such a great job, they don't go either. So, I guess my overview is that I want radical change. I want radical progressive revolutionary change. The 54 document is progressive and revolutionary. If they were going to make it more progressive and revolutionary, they're not. It's illogical. They're just saying, let's replace one strong person with another strong person. We already got a strong mayor. We call it city manager. So essentially, we already got a strong chief executive, just with a different name. We already got a strong chief executive. So it's a dumb, stupid idea, because changing one strong chief executive for another strong chief executive, you're just rearranging the chairs, the deck chairs on the Titanic, right? All you're doing is just, it looks like you're changing a lot of shit, but you're changing, that could change a lot of shit, but what that would do is have a rogue cabal, just a small group of people making up the rules as they go along, and nobody would be held accountable to anybody. That's not a system that I want at all. And so, I don't know. Hopefully the people don't vote for that direction. This is my heads up. Pueblo, I warned you. I told you that you were going to have a constitutional crisis. So it's not that I'm not against it. I'm arguing the conservative point, keeping the revolutionary and progressive 1954 charter, because the things that need to change, what you want to make sure that you don't have all these heroin addicts, you don't have all these suicides, you have, better paved roads, you don't have all these damn goat heads everywhere, good health, good education, good city, the high standard of living, plenty of jobs. These are the things that you want, right? So if these are the things that Pueblo wants, then having a strong city manager or having a strong mayor, neither one of those gets you all those things. Neither one does. They're both strong chief executives. If you thought a strong chief executive is what you need and Sam isn't strong enough, well then fire him and then hire your strong chief executive. You could do that right now. In 30 days you would get your strong chief executive. Instead of rewriting the entire rules to the game, I mean, if you think this Nick Gradisar, well, just make him fucking city manager. You want to be city manager? Then you get all the power. Nick, all the power. You don't need to change the entire... And then you could do as the fuck as you please, right? Get all your initiatives and whatever your gripes and complaints are. Get all your problems fixed. So, it's illegal, right? It's illegal. My parameters for the platform of, a new city charter, I would be very much in favor of changing a lot of things. Ranked choice voting. I think that's probably my biggest thing. I feel like I would be doing Pueblo hella good. It'd be a great legacy to leave Pueblo if I could get ranked choice voting implemented here. So that would be a good thing to put on the ballot. That would be a good thing to put, into a city charter too. Change the election rules to make it fair for independents. We would be maximizing our democracy. So those are good ideas, okay? But I'm arguing the conservative position. I think we should keep the current city charter, because unless we're prepared to rewrite the entire city charter through a city charter convention, rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic ain't going to do shit. What we need to do is understand the mechanisms that's put in place and then enforce them. Sam Azad isn't doing a good job, then get somebody else in there. What do you think Sam Azad needs to do? Have you wrote a list? Here's a list, Sam, of things I think you should do. And if he doesn't do it, then yeah, then protest, right? Then he seems like he'd be an approachable guy. You could go talk to him. So, do you want a strong mayor? Do you want a strong mayor, or do you want a strong city manager? Pueblo, what do you want? Strong mayor? Strong city manager? What's the difference? We get elect one of them, but the idea was to elect the people that elected him So that way we can get a nice professional administrator in there. We don't get some partisan hack. Yeah, but what if we want a people's champion? Well, if they don't know the system to apply to city council to become a city manager, you can become a city manager. Every one of you, citizens of Pueblo.